Hi. How well do you know the history of ancient Egypt? To test your knowledge, I suggest you take this 10-question quiz about Egypt. You will have 4 choices, one of which will be correct. After 10 seconds, you will be shown a more detailed description of the correct answer. Good luck! What was the purpose of the giant pyramid at Giza? The giant pyramid at Giza was built as a tomb for the pharaoh to serve him in later life. It was also provided with ritual objects and treasures to aid the pharaoh in his journey into later life. What factor contributed to the development of ancient Egyptian civilization? The annual Nile floods, also known as the Nile floods, were a key factor in the development of ancient Egyptian civilization. They brought crops for farmers along the banks of the Nile, which contributed to economic growth and the development of civilization. What was the name of the first capital of the Egyptian state? Memphis, located at the boundary of Upper and Lower Egypt, was the general Egyptian capital during the early and ancient kingdoms periods, 29 to 22 centuries BC. After the Amarna period, 14th century BC, for a short time Memphis was again the official capital of ancient Egypt. What was the name of one of the most famous beauties of ancient Egypt? Legends of the beauty of Nefertiti, the wife of Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, have been retold by Egyptian history buffs for hundreds of years. The ambitious girl, about whose past little is known, became the proclaimed co-ruler of the state and helped her husband to introduce a new religion into the country. What was the name of the greatest temple in ancient Egypt? The Temple of Amun is located in the city of Tbilisi. It was one of the most majestic and powerful temples in ancient Egypt, dedicated to the god Amun, who was considered one of the major gods in Egyptian mythology. What was the name of a device for watering arid lands in Egypt? Shaduf is a well from which water was extracted by a lever system of cranes and used by the Egyptians to irrigate the land. Which queen of Egypt had a child with Caesar? The love story of the great Roman Gaius Julius Caesar and the ruler of Egypt inspired many to create masterpieces of cinematic art. But few people know that Cleopatra gave birth to a child by the consul. Which of the following structures was not built in ancient Egypt? The Colonnade of Philip is a Roman structure built during the time of Emperor Marcus Julius Philip, who was called chatti in ancient Egypt. Chatti, the great ruler, the highest position in ancient Egypt. The chatti was the right hand of the pharaoh. In his hands was concentrated almost all the management of the state, with the exception of military structures. There are 2 more pyramids next to the Cheops pyramid at Giza. What are their names? The complex at Giza consists of the pyramids of Cheops, Chephren and Nicaron, as well as satellite structures. Thanks for watching. How many correct answers do you have? Write the result in the comments. Good luck!